Klonower to the stage.
I'm not exactly sure what our prompt was, but I think it was develop a character with a name when I wrote this piece last winter, and immediately this gentleman came full-blown to my mind and with a whole set of contrasts. Harrison Cullors pulled his brown tweed sport coat from his closet. It was Tuesday, and he always wore that jacket, the one with the patch pockets at the elbows, to teach his seminar on Victorian literature. He slipped into his brown shoes, sitting by his bedroom door, where he left them each night after polishing them. He checked the clock, 7:37, then measured precisely 1 teaspoon of half and half into his insulated mug and poured in the last of his coffee. He took his old leather satchel from the kitchen table and stopped to look in the mirror by the door, straightening his bow tie and inspecting his close-cropped graying hair. The hair around his ears was beginning to curl a bit, just as it always did 2 days before his monthly haircut. He walked down the 2 flights of stairs from his faculty apartment on the top floor. In the early days, he thought this apartment would be a temporary place, but, well, it had been cheap since the college owned it and convenient to stay, and he liked this old house with its stained glass windows, thick stone walls, and big porch. Now he'd lived there for 34 years. He stopped to inspect Mrs. Wallace's chrysanthemums by the porch stairs. No need to deadhead them this morning. They were finished blooming. At the street, he turned left for his 7-block walk to school, then turned right onto the campus, past the administration building, and turned right again toward the English building. "Max," he heard someone call. He walked up the steps of his building. "Max, wait!" Harrison stopped. No one had called him Max since college, and he turned slightly to see a man hurrying toward him. "Max," the man said for the 3rd time, and Harrison noticed the cashmere jacket and gold cufflinks. "You don't recognize me, do you?" "That's understandable. It's been more than 40 years. Sam Winston." Sam held out his hand. Sam Winston. All these years later. Forget? No. Sam Winston had haunted him every one of those years. "Sam, yes. Of course," Harrison shook his hand. "It's been a long time since college. I'm surprised you recognized me. I called your department yesterday to ask when the best time to see you might be. I told them we were old friends. Apparently, you're legendary for your routine because the receptionist told me I'd find you walking to your office at precisely 8 a.m. Although they didn't know you by Max, when did you start going by your first name?" "Sometime after college," Harrison said stiffly. "Mind if I walk you to your office?" Harrison shook his head no. "You've done well for yourself as a professor here. It's certainly a good school," Sam said. Harrison started up the flight of stairs to his office on the 2nd floor. "You haven't been to any of our class reunions, Max, but a few of our group kept tabs on you. That's how I knew you were a professor here." "The reunions always..." Harrison paused. "Came at times I couldn't get away." He opened the door out of the stairwell. "Did you ever have a family?" Sam said. "Married, but my wife is gone." "No kids," Harrison said quietly. He didn't need to explain that Jean had died of ovarian cancer a few years after they had come to the college. He led the way down the hall. "You remember Claire and I got married right after college. Still married. We have 3 boys and 5 grandchildren." Sam paused. "One of them is a senior in high school. She'd like to study English here next year," he said. Harrison turned and saw Sam smiling slightly. Harrison's breath caught and his hand shook as he put the key in the lock. He opened the door. "I believe her grades might not make her an obvious choice for a college like this," Sam said as he followed Harrison into the room. Just then, a woman in the hall paused at Harrison's door. She looked at Harrison and then at Sam. "Good morning, Harrison. I see you have a visitor." Smiling, Sam held out his hand. "Sam Winston, an old college friend of Harrison's." Elizabeth Erickson, she said. She looked from Sam to Harrison. Dr. Erickson is our department chair, Harrison offered as his boss continued down the hall to her office. He knew she must have heard the conversation. 34 years of his career lined his office. Bookshelves with all the books categorized and alphabetized, some of them written by him. He knew the exact location of every book. So, he put his satchel on the desk. Sam had finally heaved the past into the present and most certainly into the future. Harrison looked out the window at the ragged maple trees splintered a few months before in the storm, then turned to face Sam.
Thank you, Mary. Our next